Our next speaker is Dr. Julià Minguillón, presenting the article Rethinking Dropout in Online Higher Education, the case of the Universitat Oberta de Catalunya.
Okay, thank you, Christine. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I will present this work that has been done with Josep Grau, and it's part of his PhD on this topic. I will start my talk with the concept of rethinking dropout in the context of an online higher education. We will first quantify the problem, and then we will try to explain the difference between taking a break or dropping out. Then we will explain the model we have used for modeling dropout using enrollment patterns, and also the evidences from data we have using data from UOC. And finally, we will see the conclusions of the main conclusions of our work and the current and future work we are doing on this topic. So, how do we define dropout in an open university? We need to first quantify the problem, and then in the case of an institution like ours, explaining the difference between taking a break or dropping out. You know that as an open university, we don't have very strong enrollment requirements. On the contrary, they are very lax. So you can just come here, take a break, take a subject or two, then take a break, then come back, etc. And we are trying to analyze this. So these are our students making a line in front of our university in order to enroll for their first semester. But then what happens when they finish the first semester? 27%, almost 28% of the students get into a blackout and they don't come back. And we are trying to analyze this situation. And this situation, well, I don't need you to explain why it's important, but of course it has a very important economic and social cost. And as an open university, even these figures are not really bad, real bad when we compare them with other universities, and especially with other online universities, and they are not good. So we are trying to analyze what's going on. So, using the data, the most recent data we have from degrees in Catalan, from after using the Bologna, well, the European Higher Education Area framework, from the first semester from 2008 till the last semester previous to the current one that we are finishing now. If we take only all the students that we have, at least for them, the first and the second enrollment, that is these 37,000 students, we can see that 27.84% of them take a break after their first semester. In fact, some of them, most of them re-enroll in the second semester, and as you can see, we have 15 students that after the first semester get their degree because they come here to finish previous studies. This is not a mistake, but it's an atypical situation, but not uncommon. But what if we take a look to a longer period, in this case, 4 academic semesters? We can see that the number of students taking a break is more or less the same percentage in the second semester, 28%, but that from these students, this amount of students, only 9.63% come back and become active in the third semester. This is the difference between taking a break and dropping out. We want to be able to see if we can differentiate those students according to their behavior and try to explain why are they doing that, that is dropping out or taking a break, and at the same time trying to design some actions for preventing dropping out and for improving waking up these sleeping students. The bad figure in this graphic is the last one, and as you can see, after the fourth semester, we have almost the same number of students taking a break than active. And this is dangerous because dropout is a highly accumulative phenomenon, and we have to fight it. So this is one of the evidences we have that this problem is a real one, a tough one. So how we have analyzed all this data? We have used enrollment patterns and evidences from data. What we have done is putting all the students aligned starting from their first semester, using all data as if they were students in the first semester at the same moment. And we have seen, for example, we can see that we have a student with 3 consecutive semesters, so they enroll in the first and the second and the third semester. Maybe we have another student taking a break the second semester and coming back in the third and the fourth, etc., etc. And what we are doing here is trying to analyze how many semesters do we need to wait before we can say that this is a dropout or this is taking a break. If we use the data from the paper that is in the paper that comes from not the Bologna process but the degrees in the previous model, we can see that if we only accept an error of 1%, N can range from 5 to 12, and that's too much. We don't want to expect to wait 12 semesters to say that somebody is a dropout. If we accept an error of 5%, this goes from 3 to 5, that it's more or less 2-3 years. But if we accept an error of 10%, N it's like 2 or 3. In most cases, 2. One of the problems we have detected is that reproducing the experiments in the paper using the current data, we have seen that N can be as low as 1. So even after 1 semester, we can almost say with a 90% of accuracy that one student is going to drop out. So what we are doing, what we have apported with or showed with this paper, we don't need to use the official dropout definition. We can tailor a definition specific for our needs. There is a small window that only with 2 or 3 semesters, we can be really sure that one student is going to drop out or taking a break. Recent data shows that taking a break is almost the same as dropping out. That this is really important because it means that we can, even if this is a bad situation, it also means that we can act in the very first moment that we know that the student is taking a risk. That means the second semester. And as I said, enrollment patterns show that dropout is a decaying phenomenon, but it's highly accumulative, so it's a real problem. So what we are doing now with Josep, well, we are using N equal to 2 in order to define students as dropouts, and using this information, we are trying to build predictive models with all the information we have from these students in the first semester. So we are using their background, their enrollment data, their navigational interaction patterns, the formative evaluation they are following, and their academic performance. And we are trying to build well, decision trees and other models in order to predict if a student will be a dropout or not using this data. But we have also seen that using just 1 semester for determining if a student is going to be a dropout or taking a break, we can perform some actions in the second semester. So we have created a survey for asking students why are they taking a break in the second semester, and we can, with the results of this survey, we expect to have some actions that the UOC can take in order to wake up these true breaks and not allowing them to become dropouts. And I will take advantage of this position now, and I want to say that we have a special interest group in dropout at UOC. Probably you already know that, but if you are interested in participating in this special interest group, please let me know, and you will be very welcome. Thank you.